Welcome back to episode 4 of Kickback. Today we're talking about the ADIB Cup quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the road to the final. And if that wasn't enough, we're even giving you the Amar Super Cup.
Before we get into that, we just want to thank everyone who tuned in for the Amar Super Cup live.
Massive shout out to all of you. The support and the energy were amazing.
Al-Wahda versus Khorfakan. It was 2-2. Both teams were trading goals in a fast-paced and competitive encounter. Despite their numerous opportunities, both teams settled for a 2-2 draw in a game that reflected close level and excitement right up to the final minute.
Al Ain made a strong statement with his 3-1 win over Sharjah. Hussein Rahimi was on fire, but the second goal link-up play between Palacios, Laba and Rahimi was a different level. He was unlucky not to get a hat-trick as he had a goal ruled out for offside, and at 2-0, Coronado hits the bar with a beautiful free kick and then scores a Coronado type of goal in the 87th minute. Then Palacios steps up to score an incredible free kick to make it 3-1 to Al Ain. This game could have gone a compilation of incredible goals.
Shabab Al Ahli versus Al Nasr. It was 2-1. Shabab Al Ahli started aggressively and were rewarded with the 2 early goals by Matios Lima, while Al Nasr showed a character by responding quickly and growing into the game. Defensive gaps in the first half proved costly, but in the second half, Shabab Al Ahli managed to the tempo well, staying compact and protecting their narrow advantage heading into the return leg.
Al Jazeera and Al Wasl was a cagey affair. It ended 0-0, and you can tell that both teams were more concerned about not losing than winning. It was a very, very compact game, a very congested game, and it's exactly the way the scoreline reflected in a 0-0 draw.
So in the second round, Al Ain versus Al Sharjah was 4-1 for Al Ain. In the first half, Al Ain deepens Sharjah's struggle and takes the lead in the first half by 2-1. Al Ain is imposing the control of the match and their players remain energetic until the final minute. Putting the negatives aside, Sharjah struggled with the organization while Al Ain excelled with their rapid counter-attacks. Al Ain continued to dominate the second half, ending the game with 2 more goals. It was a well-deserved victory, secured them a spot in the semi-final.
Al Wahda won 2-1 away at Khorfakan to secure qualification after 2 Brahima Diarra goals. Khorfakan were actually ahead from a Laurentiu goal, and Pedro Pavlov was sent off, and the drama continued as the game was sealed deep into stoppage time. Al Nasr turned it around with a dramatic 3-2 win over Shabab Al Ahli. I commentated at this game, and Ghaidi scored, then Lima equalizes, then Ghaidi scores to make it 2-1, and then Abdullah Toure made it 3-1, and then Yuri Cesar made it 3-2 in the 82nd minute. To be honest, the last 10 minutes could have gone either way. And Sosa made changes to go for it, but in the end, it wasn't enough to win the game.
Al Jazeera versus Al Wasl. It was 2-1 for Al Jazeera. The game was defined by a momentum shift and a mental resilience, with Al Wasl starting out confidently and taking an early lead from a penalty spot. However, their inability to sustain control after scoring allowed Al Jazeera back into the game almost immediately. Al Jazeera grew stronger as the match progressed, showing patient and better game management, which ultimately paid off, allowing them to move on into the semi-final.
That's the quarterfinals wrapped up. Let's move on to the semi-finals.
Al Ain versus Al Nasr, 3-0 in the first round. A cagey first half ended goalless despite both teams creating a real danger in the final third. Al Nasr had more possession, working their build-up patiently. Al Ain attacked transition, looked more sharp, and had clear chances, but the ball refuses to enter the goal. The red card for Luka, after arguing with the referee, changed the majority of the match. In the second half, Al Ain capitalized on their numbers disadvantage.
Al Wahda matched that 3-0 away win at Al Jazeera. 2 goals from Reza Ghandipour and Tadic sealed the game, which was all about rhythm and tempo, which they managed to perfect to win this game. Al Ain may have lost the battle 2-0 to Al Nasr, but won the war 3-2 on aggregate, which sees them through.
Al Wahda versus Al Jazeera in the semi-final second round. Al Jazeera approached the match with the urgency and intent, pressing higher up, which paid off, however. Al Wahda showed maturity by sitting compact and managing space as well. Their calm defensive structures ultimately neutralized Al Jazeera's momentum and secured progression. Despite the narrow loss that night, this game put Al Wahda in the cup final. The ADIB Cup final will be Al Ain versus Al Wahda.
The final will take place in April, so stay tuned to UAE Pro League channels for official updates.
And make sure you come and support your team on the final.
Let's dive into the Amar Super Cup. We were there live on the ground level.
That's right, Amar. Fans brought an incredible energy. It really felt like a Super Cup occasion. So tell me, Amar, there's a lot of highlights in this game.
I was taking notes, I'm not gonna lie. From the third minute,
Right.
we were on the edge of our seats. We got there, we did the intro,
Right.
we were there live on YouTube, and then we went to watch the game. Watching the game, third minute, we had the Kartabia penalty.
Right.
Shabab Al Ahli goal 1-0 up. Then in the 15th minute, we had the Shaheen Abdullah yellow card. Why was that important? Because later on, we found that he was sent off.
Right.
Then in the 26th minute, we had the Kayo penalty. So Sharjah now at this point equalized, and it's 1-1.
Right.
And then in the 29th minute, Luan Pereira gets on the end of a Kayo assist to make it 2-1, which was amazing. And by this point, we were catching our breath.
Right.
Then we had the Breno equalizer, Shabab Al Ahli 2-2, 37th minute, and we went into the stands, right?
Right.
We came off the stands, we did the YouTube live at halftime. Me and you were like literally out of breath.
Everything happened in the game was in the first half. I realized it was 2-2. The fans was going crazy. The momentum was like in a higher tempo. I mean, even though there's a point that we already talked about, the tactical, about how the two coaches were managing the game. The game situation, about the width or about how they were attacking. It was a really an incredible game. So
It was like a chess match.
Right.
Then we go back onto the ground. We do that halftime 4-minute, by the way. Shout out to the people in the tables that had
Shout
to
out to
assist
them.
all that kind of
Right,
stuff.
right.
We were facing the fans. Then we went back into the stadium. And then the continued highlights happened. Osman Kamara made it 3-2 for Sharjah in the 78th minute. In the 84th minute, Shaheen Abdullah literally...
now we know why.
Yeah, now we know why it was important. Got his second yellow card, which was a red card.
Really?
And we were wondering if Sharjah would hold on to the end. You and I were sat side by side.
Yeah, we're talking.
Watching this game.
Right.
Towards that last 10 minutes, you could feel the tension in the stadium.
True. And honestly, I felt it myself too. Nobody expected, it's like we were saying, expect the unexpected. Even though the fans have different expectation, although, you know, Al Ahly was playing more dominant in this game, but it turned out to be Sharjah still winning their ground. The coach, Jose Moraes, has a different view. The players by themselves, by having a lost one player, still got the advantage even to equalize this game. I mean, all I can tell you is my full experience of this whole occasion was the way that was Amar Super Cup well organized. The fans was cheering up for their team. The team by themselves, the enthusiasm of the players were just like the occasion of the Super Cup final.
As a spectacle, incredible showcase. The graphics, the coverage at halftime, the pre-game, everything was on point, and we even got to see the Sharjah coach dance as well and show us his moves. So in the end, overall, a fantastic Amar Super Cup, and thank you to everyone behind it who made it possible, and we had a great time.
Shout out to everybody who tuned in this game, and yeah, we had a good time.
And shout out to everyone behind the scenes that literally worked so hard to make this come to life. It was an incredible spectacle. We were proud to be part of it. So to all the sponsors and all the team behind the scenes, thank you very much for an incredible Amar Super Cup. That's episode 4 of Kickback done.
Let us know your suggestions and opinions in the comments.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
See you in the next one.